Welcome back to He's House, where we do a little bit of everything all the time, and it usually turns out right. Tonight, we're doing sourdough pizza dough, so let's get started. We're doing 227 grams of starter. That's a good starter right there. So I'm gonna mix. This pizza dough works good with discard. I'm using some that's fed, and then I'm gonna use the other half that's discard. All right, after that, we have 113 grams of lukewarm water, 298 grams of flour, teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of yeast, and I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of garlic in as well. I'm going to start mixing it in the bowl. Once it gets together, I'll separate it out and do it on the island. So I'm gonna add a tiny bit more water. So now I'm going to knead this on the counter for a few minutes. So once this is all kneaded together, I'm going to let it rise. This is actually a pretty quick pizza dough. It only needs a couple hours. And then this right here will grow a little bit more, and it's going to make 2 decent pizzas. So now I got some olive oil in here. I'm just going to lightly oil the sides of this pan, bowl. Set it in here, cover it up, and then pull it out once you make dinner tonight. Make 2 pizzas. Welcome back. Dough's risen some. Now it's time to roll up some pizzas. Normally, I would turn this into 2 pizzas if I was cooking it in the oven, but since we're putting it on the pizza oven outside, I'm going to turn it into 4. Use a little semolina, just a little bit, to keep this from sticking to the pan. This dough is super soft. I get my sauce all the way up to the edge. This cheese is a blend. It's not straight mozzarella. I think it tastes better that way, but my kids be just as happy with plain mozzarella. This process doesn't take too long. It's about 800 degrees in there on the stone. Starting to get a little bubble. First pizza's done. Doesn't take too long. Perfect for feeding the kids after a long day of sports practice. Well, Luke asked for a pesto and mushroom. Unfortunately, I used all our mushrooms yesterday in that pasta dish. But he said it's okay if we use red peppers instead. Luke wanted pesto, which I don't use a ton of. I don't usually spread this out. Usually drop it off from a spoon. This is just going to make it stick to the pan a little bit more. Some red peppers, some pepperoni. And this cooks fast, so I cut all these little pepperonis up a little bit more just to space it out so the pepperonis aren't covering up too much space. Top it with some mozz. Time to throw it on. All right, this is Luke's. Turned out great. Now, I have a couple different pizza recipes I use, pizza dough recipes. This one is my sourdough one, and it's great because I whipped up this dough before going to pick the boys up from practice and taking Luke to his weightlifting. That was a couple hours ago. Came back and I'm now making pizzas. Some of the pizza recipes I have take 24 hours, but this one's great. It's a good crust, crispy on the bottom, and it's delicious. So that's my sourdough pizza dough recipe. It's pretty easy to make, doesn't take too long, and that little bit makes 4 small pizzas. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for stopping at Heath's house, where the food is always fresh and the back deck is always open, even if it's covered in snow. Pizza oven still puts off enough heat, got up to about 800 degrees. Perfect for making these sourdough pies. I'll see y'all around.